Hi, I'm Grady Colaine in the CapeCod.com News Center, and thank you for joining us for this conversation. I'm joined by a special guest from Barnstable Land Trust. I'm joined by Director of Communications and Programs, Sue Dowling-Sullivan. Thank you so much for joining me for this video slash audio today, depending on where you're listening. We want to talk about some of the upcoming events celebrating the New Year's, as well as a general update for people who are interested in what the Land Trust has been up to. But how have things been as of late? It's been a busy time. I know we're talking on a very wet and rainy day, not the best outdoors walking weather, but how have things been in general for you lately, Sue?
Things have been great. 2024 was a really great year for Barnstable Land Trust and just nature in general. We were able to, preserve and protect some really important properties. We had over 100 programs this year, so we engaged with lots of people, and it looks like the momentum's going to continue in 2025. So we're excited.
Yeah, I don't like hearing 2025, just that word in general. I'm like, that can't be possible. But here we are. So I guess we'll chat a little bit more about the special event that kind of kicked off the conversation. It was the first day hikes for Cape Cod. Do you mind kind of talking a little bit more about this annual tradition, what people can expect? Do they need to sign up and how so? What is this new event about?
So, this is actually our fourth year, and we're very excited to have this first day hikes Cape Cod. It was when we started it 4 years ago, it was the first regional collaboration of its kind in the country. First day hikes actually being founded decades ago by the DCR in Massachusetts and then being adapted and adopted by state parks across the whole nation. So it really has been well known as a state park initiative, but we really saw an opportunity for regional land trust and conservation groups and nonprofits to band together to sort of create our own first day hikes event. So this year, I mean, in 2022, when we launched it, we had a 8 groups, 8 groups and 11 events. This year, we've doubled the number of organizations to 16, and we have 18 events, separate events. So everything continues to grow. And last year, we had over 700 people from on and off the Cape come and take part in this great way to start your New Year's off in the fresh air. The events are free. And they range from all times a day. We have 2 sunrise hikes, one with Dennis and one in Barnstable. And then you get a little breather. And starting at 9, we have programs happening throughout the Cape every hour except for noon. We allow you a little time to get lunch. And then up until 3, there are all kinds of programs to take part in. So you might go and explore a new nature preserve. Several of the organizations are offering hiking and walking opportunities at new properties as well as old favorites. There is a new photography walk. We have 2 turtle walks to learn about how we're helping to preserve turtles on Cape Cod. We have a family day of geocaching and crafts and a s'more station that we're doing at our barn in Fuller Farm. And there are some other great activities. I mean, it's just a wonderful way to, kick off the new year on the right foot, so to say.
Yeah, sounds awesome, especially with the s'mores event. I'm a big fan already. Is the intention that people are going to be able to just participate through the whole day, or is it something that people can maybe piecemeal it? What are the
I
options?
think, a lot of the, not all of the events need registration or pre-registration, but you have to go to the website for Stay Hikes on blt.org or some of the other calendars. But I do urge people to check if they need to pre-register because some of the sites have limited parking. And so we don't want people to be disappointed by that. But there are some that don't require registration, like the geocaching some more event, and then the 300 committee in Falmouth is going to have multiple groups leave at 1 o'clock on their BB farm location. And so that doesn't need pre-registration either. But people should check the First Day Hikes Cape Cod website to find out which one needs pre-registration. And it really is a great opportunity, I always say, this time of year especially, for people to explore over their town lines. You know, many of us can be like, oh, we're not going to go too far from home. But there are some amazing places to discover and wonderful organizations to learn more about. And we urge people, you know, to go as far as Wellfleet or Wareham and explore everything in between.
Sounds good. For those of you who are interested in learning more about this initiative, we will have a link to this page in the description for this interview as well. It'll be down below if you're watching the video up on YouTube or on capecod.com. We'll also link out to the page. How did the expansion go for that? Did you reach out to other places to see if they wanted to get added? Did they reach out to you guys? Is it sort of a collaborative 50-50? How did it get so big at this point?
Well, word of mouth and success. Once we did it the first time and worked together and realized that, you know, hundreds of people were very excited about this. More people heard about it, more organizations. We use the Compact, which is an organization of regional land trust, as sort of our main point, and open it up to members that are member organizations there, as well as their nonprofit partners. So for instance, the Nye Museum is partnering with the Sandwich Land Trust. And they're going to be offering a great walk on some historic trails around Scorton Creek. So it continues to grow, and we continue to do more collaborative efforts too, based on the success of First Day Hikes. So in September, we informally launched a new comprehensive calendar of events, conservation community calendar, so that throughout the year you can, and with sort of one-stop shop, find out what programs are being offered at land trust and related organizations, not just on January 1st. And that has proven also to be gathering some great momentum and interest, because there are wonderful programs 12 months out of the year that, you know, people are interested in and can take advantage of and really learn more about the natural world that we are so important to both the livability, the economy, and the what really Cape Cod is about, right? The environment is why we're here. So I urge people to check out it. Most of our partner websites have a link to the community calendar. Barnstable Land Trust, if you go to their events page, you'll see a link to the calendar, and it's you can sort by town, you can sort by day or time, and find something that is of particular interest to you. So the First Day Hikes has really, you know, helped plant the seed for even more collaboration.
All right, awesome. Now, before we wrap up, I wanted to ask, what do you think was some of the bigger achievements that you made for 2024 at Barnstable Land Trust? I know there's been a few expansion efforts and some trail updates in general, but is there anything that sticks out to you as a pride point, as the communications director, essentially, ways to kind of, highlight some of the successes for the year before we wrap it up?
Sure. Well, there's actually three things, I think. One is that we closed on a property called the Wheeler Holly Preserve in Marston Mills. It borders our Fuller Farm property. It houses historic hollies. And in 2025, now that we have the land, we'll be adding a loop trail from Fuller Farm, so that you can actually now expand your trail experience at Fuller Farm and explore this beautiful, stunning property filled with historic hollies. We've also, we're very successful in raising more support for expanded land stewardship efforts. One of the things about land conservation is not only do we preserve and protect land, but we do it in perpetuity. It's like forever. And so that means that land stewardship, taking care of the land, making sure whether it's trail maintenance or invasives, or just making sure that it continues to thrive in its natural state, is going to last longer than you and I. And so that has become another focus for our organization, is to look far, far into the future and make sure that we have the resources and support to fulfill that mission, part of our mission.
Hmm.
And then lastly, we really expanded our programs this year to over 100. It might be volunteer programs, but we did a lot of family programs. We did a climate conversations month that brought up great experiences talking about land and climate. Hike Barnstable, we did with Cape Cod Healthcare. We did an Earth Month thing. And so we partnered with over 50 local community partners this year to help deliver those 100 programs and to reach over, almost 3,000 people this year. So we're very proud of that. It's gonna, but we're excited. We haven't, made a lot of announcements about 2025 yet, but we have some really exciting land projects that we'll look forward to talking more about in the new year. We're already planning more great programs, and our land stewardship activities are also expanding. So it was a great year, and we're hoping to make 2025 even better.
All right, awesome, Sue. Thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. Any word on when that loop trail might be open? Is that going to be sometime soon or already, or is that going to be also in the
I think
works?
it'll be, we'll have to see what the weather's like. Because, so I would expect it to be ready by the spring. So
All
we'll
right.
definitely be sharing more information about that once we know. But the goal is for the spring.
All right, we'll be looking forward to it. Well, thank you so much, Sue. Is there anything else you wanted to highlight for our listeners while I still have you before we wrap this up?
No, just to thank you and your listeners for their support and interest in the natural environment that we, all so clearly value, and to encourage everybody to get out on outside and get that fresh air while we can.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Sue. Thank you for joining me for this conversation. It's been a pleasure as always, and we'll stay tuned on stuff for 2025.
Thank you, Grady.
I'm Grady Colaine in the Cape Cod.com News Center, and thank you for listening.